G'day folks, I'm just going to do a quick video of kind of half refitted a old sensor into a new housing, 304 dizzi, fire, VN to VR, anything that wasn't sequential injection. This was the original VN1 blue plug. Needed to change out the plug. I got a new wiring harness and they changed the plug on me, so I needed a rectangle one. So I've got a newer aftermarket fuelmiser dizzi. I painted it black just for the hell of it. Part numbers D1S130. Okay, so they make them and they send them out with these type of Hall effect sensor, and it's not the original, so I figured this could be why I was having a bit of a funny ignition and timing issues with my last build. So what I did, I whipped this old Bosch dizzi apart and I had a look. A couple of circlips, it's in rough condition. This one broke, this one holds it in place, and a couple of bushes. Pin comes out from the bottom. Alright, take your distributor gear out, and basically what I wanted to do was take the new Hall effect sensor, aftermarket one, out of the new housing and put the old Hall effect sensor into the new housing. So everything on the shaft's the same except for right up about here. It's about 3.3 of a mil thicker once you get to that section up here, and you can't actually interchange the shaft into the old housing, so I ended up using everything else. What I did do is I've taken the new gear off and used the original gear on the aftermarket housing, if that makes sense. So basically it's all aftermarket. This actually has a roller bearing and new bushes. There's no play in the shaft, so I figured roller bearing, new bushes, everything's basically new shaft and impeller, well not impeller but you know, the trigger wheel or whatever you want to call it, magneto. That's all new. All I wanted to do was get rid of this dodgy bloody aftermarket Hall effect sensor and put in the original, so I can give you a quick look, show you what it looks like. So when put an original Bosch rotor in, that's the original HME301 original Hall effect sensor that came out with the Bosch dizzi. Alright, so that's what I've done. And yeah, roller bearing on the input of the housing, and basically you don't have to worry about clips or anything. Yeah, you just sort of swage it in, if that makes sense. But that shaft needs to be tapped in. I put a socket at the top, took the rotor off, put a socket in at the top, lined up the gear on the bottom and tapped down the hole to the pin shade. Made sure that the little washer or bushing is there in place, and tapped it down. Everything went pretty smoothly and it works. So I'll just give you a quick demo. So it looks a little bit scattered here, but I've just hooked everything up, alternator, starter motor, just roughly, just to make sure that that sensor still worked. And then yeah, coil, hook that up, lead, just one spark plug will do, earthed it, the spark plug out here, and then just make sure, I just like to do it, earth whatever it's normally earthed. It's an aluminium housing, so it probably doesn't need to, but just to be safe. And give it some power, and as I turn the dizzi, alright, hope this is helpful. Yeah, hopefully you tune in and see how my build goes. I've got a 355 stroker on the way. come racing, bottom end kit, I snapped that crank there as an eagle, so my fault for buying a crate motor and not knowing what all the internals were. I just seen brand new, fresh, not started, and thought, yeah, I'll buy that, and that's what that gets you. So always ask what you're buying, what parts are in it. You know, hopefully this will be helpful to some of you. Yeah, all the best on your works, eh? Cheers.